Sponsored by Molecule. Yeah, it's that time of year again. Apple's WWDC 2019 keynote kicks off on Monday, June 3 at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, and I'm going to be there to bring you back all of the action, not just for the morning, but for the whole day and the entire week, because the keynote is really just the beginning. To do that, I need gear, I need tech, I need so much stuff, and I need to pack it all up and take it with me. But here's the thing, I'm going to do it a bit differently this year. Instead of taking a big camera bag and my big cameras with me, I'm going to keep things ultra light and ultra mobile. Basically, my everyday carry optimized for going away. But what exactly does that mean and how exactly does that work? I'm Rene Ritchie, and this is What's in My Tech Bag 2019, but also Vector. First, a brief public service message, and I can't say or stress this enough. Use a backpack. Please, always use a backpack. Messengers, slings, totes, literally everything else is for suckers. They'll yank your body out of alignment, destroy your posture, and leave you aging into chronic pain. I've learned that lesson the hard way, but if I can save anyone else any misery, I'm gonna do it. If there's one thing you can do to improve the quality of your life over the course of your life, it's sticking to backpacks. So, my current backpack of choice is still the Tumi Alpha Bravo Nox, the one Kevin Michaluk recommended to me all those many years ago, and I still love almost everything about it. It's stylish and small, but it holds a ton of gear, so much that I'm still amazed at what I can cram into it, even after all these years. Review samples when they're handed to me, clothes when I'm just going overnight, it all just fits. If I want to keep things super light, like I'm just going to the coffee shop or on a day trip, I go all in with the iPad Pro. Previously, I stuck with the 9.7-inch and then the 10.5-inch versions. But even though Apple has now taken that one all the way to 11, they've also stripped down the 12.9-inch version so much, and the extra screen real estate is so useful, I'm sticking with that for now. It fits great on the airplane tray tables, it works great as a super long-lasting LTE tether for my MacBook Pro. What's not to love? I keep the smart keyboard on the iPad Pro all the time. I don't like the current one as much as the previous one. It is simpler, sure, but I just don't like the feeling of the keys on my fingertips when I fold it back. It's like bubble wrap and I can't not fidget with it. When it's folded down though and I'm typing, weird as it may look, I can just fly. Also, the Apple Pencil. This new version I mostly love. Charging on device is aces, but it gets knocked off when I travel, so I still end up putting it in its own pocket so I don't lose it. But when I am using it, and I say this as someone with a decade of Wacom behind him, it's still the best digital drawing tool I've ever used. The 15-inch MacBook Pro, yeah, even the tiny Tumi can easily handle both the full-sized iPad Pro and MacBook Pro at the same time. I love it. Anyway, over the years, I've bounced between power and portability. I went from a 17-inch Pro to a 13-inch Air to a 13-inch Pro, and now a 15-inch Pro. Blame YouTube. Crushing 4K video isn't easy, and while there are a lot of machines that can do it, the 15-inch combined with Final Cut Pro 10 can just do it so fast, especially when I'm coming from events, hands-on, and briefings, and that makes it more than worth the extra weight. And heat. This is the 2018 pre-Vega Pro version, but I do have my eyes set on the 2019 8-core. Yeah, I know a lot of people complain about the thermals, and they're absolutely right. But even with the thermals, it's still so fast. Maybe not as fast as it could be, but faster, and that's what really matters to me with all of this stuff. The Samsung X2 SSD. When I'm home, I can back up and offload onto much bigger, much slower drives. When I'm traveling, I need speed. Now, the X2 gets really hot, like hotter than a MacBook Pro hot, and the design is all shades of weird, but it's so fast, and I got the 2TB version, which, while ridiculously expensive, again, MacBook Pro expensive, it matches what's on my MacBook Pro, and the convenience of that is absolutely worth the cost. The iPhone XS. You know, when Apple introduced the XS Max, I thought for sure I'd switch to it. I'd been using plus-sized iPhones since the 6, but the regular size 10 and now the XS combine just enough screen and the full-on camera system into a small enough package to make the Max necessary, at least for me. I know a lot of people like a lot of other camera phones, but iOS is still so simple, so fast, and so reliable, from speed of capture to color science and management to never missing a single frame or shot that I just know I can trust it. And it's also got just about the best video camera in the business. At events, that's invaluable. Even at home, I use it for a ton of B-roll these days. Oh, and yeah, it's computer enough that I can run pretty much everything I do right from the iPhone when I need to, which is often. The smart battery case is the other thing that lets me stick with the XS instead of the XS Max. Instead of having a big phone with me all the time, I can use the normal sized phone and then just slap this case on when I'm traveling, when bad airport connectivity and bad roaming reception just chew away at my battery life. Yeah, I know it looks all shades of fugly, but this is one of those cases where design really is how it works. Minimum physical aesthetics, maximum power efficiency. The Apple Watch Series 4. If I'm not wearing my Apple Watch, I just feel totally disconnected, especially with the new, bigger screen and the infographic watch face. It has most of what I need available at a glance. It also has my plane tickets, my credit cards, my coffee cards, my appointments, my messages, the WWDC schedule, pretty much everything really small but really important, and all instantly available without even having to reach for my phone. And it's only getting better and better over time. I'm not sure which exact bands I'll take with me yet, that's more of an in-the-moment thing, but almost certainly a sport loop because, like I keep saying, they're yoga pants for your wrist, and probably a Hermes as well because nothing looks better. AirPods, yeah, the second generation. I've been alternating between those and Powerbeats Pro, which are great for when I'm working out or I otherwise need something that just stays in better. But for everything else, I still prefer the AirPods. They're just so light and convenient. I use them for everything, from listening to podcasts or watching YouTube on the go to editing in Final Cut Pro when I'm at an event or at a coffee shop. I typically alternate in one ear at a time so they effectively last forever, or at least as long as any trip I've ever been on. The USB Pre 2 by Sound Devices is still my audio interface of choice at home, but I'll be taking the Mix Pre 3 with me on the road. First, because it means I don't have to take my home setup apart, and second, because you can record onto it directly with an SD card, and simplicity simply always wins. I've been using the Sennheiser MKH416 as my main mic for the last couple of months. I'm using it right now. But that means my trusty Hale PR40 is now free to travel. It's the mic I got when I started doing Mac Break Weekly, and it's the mic everyone on Twit still uses every day. So in the bag it goes. And I realize I'm just breaking my own light travel rule with the audio equipment right away, but over the years, especially because I push all these videos out as podcasts as well, I've just learned the hard way that bad audio is easy, but good audio takes gear. Now, I'm going to tell you a couple extra things I'm considering bringing in just a sec, but first I'm going to tell you something that I'm not bringing. I'm kind of bummed about it, and that's the Molecule. I've been using mine for months now. Ever since my nerdy friends in Silicon Valley showed me the results they'd been getting during the wildfires, and I was just blown away. That's because Molecule has technology that's capable of destroying air pollutants at a molecular level. Its technology has been verified by science, but more importantly, it's been tested by real people in the real world, and that's what makes it so compelling to me. Molecule helped allergy and asthma sufferers around the country better cope with their conditions and significantly reduce their symptoms. To get yours, go to molecule.com, that's MOLEKULE.com, and enter Vector at checkout to save $75. Thanks, Molecule, and thanks to all of you for supporting the show. Okay, so there are a few other things I'm still on the fence about. In the past, I've brought a second phone and watch with me to put on all the betas as soon as Apple released them, right after the keynote. That way, if something bad happened, it didn't happen to my main device. I'll probably still do that, even if recent seed primes have been pretty solid, even on day one, but I'm thinking about it. I also have the Osmo Pocket, which is pretty damn cool. I don't think the capture quality is as good as the iPhone XS, but it has a lot of features, especially how rock steady it is that makes it compelling nonetheless, especially if I want to do any vlogging while I'm out there. But do I? Hit like, hit subscribe, and if you think I'm taking anything I shouldn't or forgetting to take something I should, let me know all of that in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, see you next video, and see you at WWDC.